What if you could grow your retirement money without ever risking your original investment? Most Americans believe higher returns always require higher risk, but that belief could quietly cost you thousands in retirement. The reality is that many investors lose money not because the market falls, but because they use the wrong strategy at the wrong time. There's a little-known approach that may help protect your principal while still capturing market growth, and most people never hear about it. Welcome back to American Dream Finance. Today, we'll uncover how this strategy works, the biggest mistakes retirees make, and how to decide if it fits your plan. Miss this, and your retirement savings could face unnecessary risk. Stay until the end, because the most important lesson and the mistake that destroys wealth fastest is coming up. You'll leave with a simple framework you can use to make smarter retirement decisions. Protect your retirement principal without giving up growth. Most retirement investing advice starts with one question: how much risk can you tolerate? But that is not the question most retirees are actually asking. The real question is, how can I grow my money without risking the savings I spent my entire life building? For millions of Americans approaching retirement, this fear is completely real. Imagine you have $200,000 saved for retirement. You know inflation is rising. You know Social Security may not cover everything. You know you need stock market growth. But you also know one market crash could wipe out years of progress on paper. That creates a serious psychological problem. When investors see their portfolio drop 20%, 30%, or even 40%, many panic. They stop thinking logically. They start thinking emotionally. And emotional investing often leads to expensive mistakes. The biggest danger is not market volatility. The biggest danger is panic selling during volatility. History has shown this repeatedly. During major market declines, many investors sell near the bottom because they become afraid their losses will continue. Then, when the market eventually recovers, they are no longer invested. The result? They lock in losses that could have been temporary. This is why two investors with the exact same portfolio can end up with very different results. One stays invested, one panics and sells. The difference is behavior, and behavior matters more than most people realize. That brings us to an important retirement investing principle. A portfolio is only good if you can actually stick with it. Many Americans build portfolios that look great on paper, but when markets become scary, they discover the risk level was higher than they could emotionally handle. That is where the idea behind today's strategy becomes interesting. Instead of asking, how much money can I make? It asks, how much certainty do I need before I feel comfortable staying invested? That is a completely different way to think about retirement investing. And for some investors, it can change everything. Because once your fear of losing your original savings is reduced, your ability to stay invested often improves dramatically. And staying invested is one of the most important factors in long-term wealth building. So before worrying about returns, charts, or market forecasts, you first need to answer this question: how much protection do you need to sleep well at night while your money continues working for you?
Now, let's talk about the practical side. The goal is not to eliminate risk completely. The goal is to create a system where your retirement principal is protected while part of your money still has the opportunity to grow. This is where the principal protection plus growth bucket approach comes in. Here's how it works. Let's assume you have $200,000 available for retirement investing. Instead of placing the entire amount into stocks, you first calculate how much money is needed today to recreate your original $200,000 in the future using a safe U.S. Treasury investment. For example, if long-term Treasury yields are around 4.5% to 5%, you might need approximately $125,000 to $130,000 invested in Treasury securities to grow back to $200,000 over the next decade. That protected portion becomes your foundation. Think of it as your safety bucket. No matter what happens in the stock market, your original principal has a path back. Then, the remaining money, roughly $70,000 to $75,000, can be invested for growth. This growth bucket could include broad U.S. stock index funds, S&P 500 funds, total market funds, large-cap dividend funds, or other diversified equity investments. The exact investment matters less than the principle itself. The principle is protect one portion, grow another portion. This creates a powerful psychological advantage. Imagine the stock market falls 35%. Most investors immediately focus on fear, but someone using this framework can remind themselves, my protected bucket is still working exactly as planned. That mindset can help prevent emotional decisions, and that may be worth more than an extra percentage point of return. However, there are three important realities many investors overlook. Reality number one, inflation never takes a day off. Many people hear principal protection and think they are completely safe. Not necessarily.
If you received the same $200,000 back 10 years from now, inflation may have reduced its purchasing power. Your account balance may look identical. Your buying power may not. That's why some growth exposure remains important. Protecting the dollar amount is not the same as protecting purchasing power. Reality number two, interest rates matter. This strategy works best when treasury yields are relatively attractive. When rates are high, less money is needed for the protected bucket. That leaves more money available for growth. When rates are very low, the strategy becomes less appealing because too much capital must be locked into protection. Higher rates improve the math. Reality number three, this is not a get-rich-quick strategy. Some investors may look at this approach and think, how can I maximize returns? That's the wrong question. This strategy was never designed to maximize returns. It was designed to maximize confidence and discipline. And in retirement, confidence can be extremely valuable. A portfolio that earns a slightly lower return but keeps you invested through difficult markets may outperform a theoretically better portfolio that causes you to panic. Remember, the best investment strategy is not the one that looks smartest on a spreadsheet. It's the one you can follow during a market crash. So the real solution is not choosing between safety and growth. It's creating a balance where both can exist together. That balance allows you to participate in stock market gains while reducing the fear that causes many retirees to make costly mistakes.
Now let's bring everything together. You do not need to decide today whether this exact strategy is right for you, but you should learn the lesson behind it. And that lesson is powerful. Successful retirement investing is not about finding the highest return. It's about building a plan you can actually follow for decades. Too many Americans focus only on maximizing gains. They chase performance. They compare portfolios. They worry about beating the market. But when a major downturn arrives, many discovered they were taking more risk than they could emotionally handle. That's when mistakes happen. And in retirement, avoiding major mistakes is often more important than chasing extraordinary returns. So, what should you do today? Step 1. Define your non-negotiable money. Ask yourself one simple question. How much money can I absolutely not afford to lose? This amount is different for everyone. For one retiree, it may be enough to cover essential living expenses. For another, it may represent a lifetime of savings they want protected. Write down that number. Knowing this number helps you understand how much certainty you truly need. Step 2. Separate safety from growth. Many investors mix all their money together. That often creates unnecessary stress. Instead, think in buckets. One bucket exists for safety. Another bucket exists for long-term growth. This approach can make market volatility feel much less threatening, because when stocks decline, you know every dollar is not exposed to the same level of risk. Clarity creates confidence. Step 3. Focus on behavior, not predictions. Nobody consistently predicts the stock market. Not economists, not television experts, not professional fund managers. What you can control is your behavior. You can control how much you save, how much risk you take, whether you panic during market declines, whether you stick to your plan. Over the long run, these decisions matter far more than short-term forecasts. The biggest takeaway? The real value of this strategy is not the treasury bond. The real value is the mindset.
It forces investors to ask a better question. Not how much can I make, but how much certainty do I need to stay invested? That question can completely change the way you think about retirement planning. Because wealth is not built by making one perfect investment. Wealth is built by consistently following a sound plan through good markets, bad markets, recessions, recoveries, headlines, and uncertainty. And the investors who succeed are usually not the ones who take the most risk. They are the ones who stay invested long enough to let compounding do its job. Final thought. It forces investors to ask a better question. Not how much can I make, but how much certainty do I need to stay invested? That question can completely change the way you think about retirement planning. Because wealth is not built by making one perfect investment. Wealth is built by consistently following a sound plan through good markets, bad markets, recessions, recoveries, headlines, and uncertainty. And the investors who succeed are usually not the ones who take the most risk. They are the ones who stay invested long enough to let compounding do its job. Final thought. If protecting part of your principal helps you remain calm during market crashes, that protection may be worth more than the extra returns you might have earned by taking additional risk. The goal is not to own the perfect portfolio. The goal is to own a portfolio you can confidently hold through the next crisis. Because retirement success is not determined by what happens in the market. It's determined by how you respond when the market becomes scary.
Your support motivates us, so don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe.